Good afternoon, my name is Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 5615 Southeast Bybee Boulevard here in Portland, Oregon. We're located in the basement, just above the laundry. There is a 2-inch ABS cleanout off of a sink. That's the point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. It transitions to 3-inch PVC. Actually, I'm sorry, this is still 2-inch pipe here. 2-inch PVC immediately upon access. And then out here, I've already test run it a little bit. I'll push it out where it ties onto the main line. And we'll see water running from the sink that I have going upstairs. Here at 12 feet, it ties onto the main line. This is 3-inch ABS pipe here. This is really where we're going to start the scope. Here we go. Okay, here at 98 feet out, there is a little bit of debris that's hung up here at this joint, and the joint does look separated a little bit. When I go just past that debris, on the right side of the screen there, I see what looks like tiny little root strands. It's very difficult to tell at the angle the camera has on this. I'll try and get a second opinion from some repair guys I know to see what they think about that. But it almost looks like we got some small roots. Unfortunately, the camera just does not get a good angle at it as it's going right over the top here and 90ing down. And here at 109 feet out, transitions over to 6-inch PVC pipe. Apart from that possible root intrusion, everything's looking pretty good so far. Actually, it looks like we may have some roots coming through here at this transition. When the water drains out, we'll have a better look, but that looks like roots to me there. Okay, here at 129 feet out, we've reached the main lateral. It likely goes out to southeast Bybee Boulevard. It looks like the line hooked around the back of the house and went out the front, especially the length of the pipe would indicate that. I'm going to get the water turned off, let it drain out so I have a little bit clearer look at the transition joint back there. I do believe there were some roots coming through. Okay, I did turn the water off. While I'm letting that drain out here, I'm going to go ahead and start reeling back to the transition joint. And those are, that's most definitely root intrusion coming through there. I'm going to recommend a spot repair to correct the roots, as often what roots can do is catch debris coming through. I mean, at the very least, I'm recommending they be trimmed or jetted out of there. But roots often persist to a point where they grab debris and make it difficult for the line to drain out, and it can cause debris to build up. Right now, they're not doing a whole lot. And depending on where this is at, this is possible that it's at the street curb or in the road, and possibly the city's responsibility. But when I go locate, I'll be able to find that out. And then there's also a possible root intrusion a little further back at about 98 feet. But we'll check that out. Hopefully I can get a better angle on it so I can see on the way back out. Otherwise I'm going to have to show it to a couple people, see what they think. It's a pretty minimal if it's an intrusion, but an intrusion nonetheless. And it also compromises the joint and can allow water to seep out of the pipe into the ground around the sewer line. So I'm going to go locate and find out where this is at. I'll mark it with a green X. I'll mention location and depth of that in just a moment. Okay, I attempted to do some locates here, and I did find what I believe is the camera head. The issue is at the depth that it's reading, there just so happens to be power lines exactly overhead of where I'm locating. And power lines can put off a signal that's very, very similar to a locator signal. So I'm going to move the camera out here a little bit to see if I can see if the locate moves from that point. If not, they're going to have to use city records to find the camera head, as that the power lines are right over the top of where I'd be locating at, and you cannot trust the signal at that point. You just can't. The power lines aren't impeded by the ground, and so they often put off a stronger signal than the camera head does. So I'm going to go try and locate here, and hopefully we see the camera head moving around. Alrighty, well I did end up locating the camera head. It is where I located it at. It's not the power lines, luckily. The unfortunate part is the depth of the line. It is, I'm getting it at about 14 feet down. My locator cuts out at about 15 feet. So I would recommend trying to pull records just to get a double check on the depths. I will go relocate here, but my camera head last time I tried it the locator was indicating about 14, 15 feet down. It's very deep. And I also would check to see if this is the responsibility of the city. It's possibly on the right of way. It's right where the property meets the sidewalk. So it's worth checking with. And this is the transition over to PVC. It's very common for the PVC portion of the line to be the city's portion of the line, or at least their responsibility. So definitely contact the city in this case. And I will mark this with a green X. It's at the very front of the property, right before the property meets the sidewalk out front on Bybee Boulevard. Okay, I did went ahead and marked here with a green X. Again, it's like maybe 6 inches or less before the sidewalk starts at the front. And my locator is indicating below 15 feet. The locator's kind of cut out after that depth, so the repair guys of the city are going to have to pull records to find out how deep it is, or use some line tracing equipment. There are stronger locators out there than the one that I have, so just so they can get accurate depths and know how deep they're going to have to dig here. At the very least, I would recommend getting the roots cut out of the way, but a repair is preferable to that, as it keeps them from ever coming back and becoming an issue. I'm going to go ahead and pull back here. to that other spot where there's possible roots. It almost looks like an old piece of tape or something that has like a mesh inlay into the tape. It's very difficult to tell. It's caught here on the joint. The joint is separated a little bit, so it's possible it's just caught in a little bit of a separation there. This really looks like a small root intrusion to me, though, because there's some. It looks like I can see something there coming out of the joint. It's very difficult. I will get a couple second opinions on it for some repair guys to see if they have a better idea. And I'm going to go locate this, and I'll mark it with a green X in the event that they're going to go ahead and repair that. Unfortunately, it's just very difficult to tell. Camera head does not get a good angle on it. It's possible you might be able to get the city to come out and camera the line from the opposite direction, and that would give you more than likely a better view of what's going on here. But I will also mark this with a green X. It will also be kind of in the front yard area, and I'll mention the depth and location in just a moment. Okay, I did it locate right here. We're in the front yard, something like 12, 13 feet away from the sidewalk. It's very visible. There was a trailer over the top of it. I've moved that trailer. If you're looking from the street at the face of the home, it's at the front right corner of the property. And I'm getting a depth of about 4 feet 7 inches deep here. It's right before it drops off really hard. And again, I'm going to see if I can get maybe a second opinion on the video here. But amongst all that, it looks like a piece of blue tape or something that's been caught in the line. Something like that. But I see some strands and things like that within it. And so it does look like a small root intrusion, but it roots nonetheless. They can keep growing and persisting to the point where they start grabbing a bunch of debris and blocking up the pipe. So that is marked in the event that it gets repaired. The root intrusion at 109 feet I do recommend be repaired. That is definitely confirmed root. And then contacting the city to see if they'll take care of that. At the very least, I'm recommending the line be jetted or augered out to clean those roots up and get rid of them. I'm going to go ahead and reel back the camera. Despite the root intrusion and stuff, we still have good flow all the way out to the street. And for the most part, the line is functioning properly, but the roots, in my opinion, need to be taken care of so they don't cause an issue down the road. I also want to mention, in this circumstance, when we've got depths like that, as well as overhead power lines, it makes me very nervous just to go on one set of locates. I do highly recommend the repair guys or the city double check based on records or locating equipment so we can be sure that the line does in fact run through there and it is at those depths. There's power lines, it couldn't be more directly overhead, and they do emit signals that can interfere with the camera locator.